All right, let's see. It says connecting. Okay, it says we are live.
Hello, everybody.
Still waiting for a picture.
We have another sponsored by Skillshare
We
live.
do. We do indeed today. So, we didn't pin it in the comments.
Okay.
We need to pin that in the comments. Good morning, Saroja. How are you? Shiku-san is here. Emery is here. Color Wheel is here. Everybody says hi. Book Lover says good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hold on, I gotta pin something.
Give us 1 second.
I'll go here. And here. And
That one.
here.
There we go. Copy? You got it? Okay.
Copy.
Pin it. Let's see.
Paste.
There we go. And we're going to pin it. Pin message. All right. Okay, guys. We have a Bethany.
How is everybody?
We have a Vincent. We have a Tori. Hi. Tori says, hi, my favorite Hobbit.
Hello.
Stoic Philosophy's back and says hi from Germany. Coral Create says hello.
Hello,
Elsa says
hello.
good morning. Gail says good morning from California. Wacky Watercolor Wednesday. Do you think you might reattempt the 70s alphabet after finishing the script for Animal Crackers 2?
I don't know. I was really disillusioned by my lack of ability to do the markers. And I know I could do a good job of it with watercolors, but I kind of wanted to do each
A different medium.
decade in a different medium. And I'm like, ugh. So I might practice a little bit of markers first.
Yo Soy Nanocraft says hi. We are dropping my brother off at his summer school.
Oh, nice.
Well, that sounds like fun. Brandy B says good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Brandy B.
Malik says hi from Egypt.
Hello.
How is the weather in Egypt today?
So
We have a hello from Kosovo.
Oh, hello. So this was last week. I took a little trip up to Connecticut to go see my cousin and his son Joe graduated high school. And when I landed in Westchester County Airport, we were not allowed to get off the plane because Air Force One was there. And all I could do is sit and sketch Air Force One from my window. And I didn't get a chance to finish some of my sketches. But so I thought we would do that today because I couldn't think of anything else to do.
Literally,
Let me
he couldn't.
do blow dryer.
Oh, no, hold on. Crap. Which one are you? Shoot, man. Okay, I will try that. Okay, let's hope that's it. Let me know if he's muted or not. Let's see. Oh, geez, Fareed, sorry about the jury duty thing. That's no fun. Frankie Roth says good morning.
Good morning.
Good night from India.
Good night.
MM says, Scott, I do not draw with shapes or circles and stuff. Does that make me a bad artist? I just don't see that stuff when I look at references.
No, that doesn't make you a bad artist. Let me just show you something because I've been thinking about doing a video about shapes. And I've got this one here. So everything starts off with shapes. You know, if can you guys see the car?
We can.
Okay, you don't just start doing this, you know, just the outline of the car. It's very difficult and it doesn't help. What you have to do is you have to start seeing this is a rectangle and it has depth. I can see a little bit of the front and a little bit of the side, see? And then from there, you're gonna see this shape. But you're seeing the three-dimensionality of it, not the outline of it. So that's where you start to be able to draw anything, because you can break it down into simple shapes. So just a good practice is to start to look at things and break them down into shapes, and then you start to break those shapes down into the outlines. But it's the same thing you see me do when I'm doing a person. I don't start drawing the outline of a person's head. I start with an oval, and then I cut it in half and in half. This is where their nose is going to be. This is where their eyes are going to be. Eye 1, eye 2, nose, mouth. You break stuff down into shapes. If I'm going to be doing buildings, I'm not outlining the buildings. I'm making rectangles. If I'm doing an airplane like I was doing there, it's a cylinder. And so just, it doesn't make you a bad artist. It just means that you're not seeing the forms, you're seeing the outlines. And the outlines is what we do when we're just learning, when we're just, starting to draw. And as you become more of an accomplished artist, you're going to start seeing the shapes. And so you're just not at the point to where you're seeing the shapes yet. But don't think that you're reinventing the wheel and you're saying, oh, well, I'm just not going to be an artist who draws shapes. That just means that you're just not going to be an artist who moves into that intermediate or more advanced, and more advanced type of drawing. When you can start seeing things and breaking them down shapes. When I was drawing these trucks, these are cylinders, and the wheels are thinner cylinders. This I drew as a box, and then I added the little curves. I didn't just start off with the curves. There was a
push the journal up. We can't see the bottom of it. Thank you.
There was a box. This was what I drew, was a box. And then I added all of these stuff. So that's all I'm saying is that it doesn't make you a bad artist. It just makes you closer to a beginner artist than it does to a more advanced artist. I hope that helps.
They said that it did, and they said, thank you, Scott, thank you.
Sure.
And you talked a lot, so I'm going to back up and read some questions. Ryan's here. Let's see. We have a lot of friends that are binging some things while they're on with us.
So this was...
Coral Creates is currently reading Lord of the Rings in the dark.
Oh, nice.
That's not good for your eyes. You should turn on a light.
This was the view. So Air Force One was behind me, and then this was my view as we were just sitting there waiting. The sun was setting. It's very pretty. So I'm going to try to capture that orange sunset.
Caleb says, I finally saw Animal Crackers and loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you know about the singer The Weeknd?
Are they the one that doesn't use the E in one of the E's in Weekend?
That is correct, yes.
I know of the fact that I keep thinking that people were lazy and just couldn't add the other E, but apparently that is actually how they spell their name. So that's all I know about them.
Whatever makes people happy. The tea today is the Harrods tea. Let's see. You should do a sci-fi alphabet. Rennie says hello from my breakfast table. Ellen loves the travel journal days.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, Ellen's here and Steph Nerd is here.
Hey, Ellen. Hey, Steph Nerd. How are you?
Let's see. Yeah, Scott has a mic. Well, actually, he is on the
I'm on
webcam.
the webcam, so it's not very good audio.
Yeah, I have the mic over here. So, because this is where he records his voice. Color Wheel just finished writing their 7th book.
Wow.
You seriously give me the motivation to do the things I got to do. Thanks, Scott.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. 7th book. That's crazy. Good
That's
for you.
really good.
Do you have any tips for making backgrounds look farther away? Well, you're watching him do it right now. How exciting is that?
Yes, I do. So if you go to the video on the guild and you fast forward to where I'm inking the background, I talk about the 3 things that you can do to make your backgrounds sit in the distance. One is you do thinner lines, whereas the things in the foreground are going to have thicker lines. If you're not doing outlines, you can also do saturation. You can have the background be more desaturated and the foreground has got more saturation. And the third thing you can do is contrast. So you can have your blackest blacks and your whitest whites are in the main, and then your background is going to be just more muted. And you'll see that in a lot of my art where I do that to try to push the background into the background and keep the characters in focus.
Shiku-san says, do you think, like me, artists need a teacher or to make realistic art like hyperrealism?
No, hyperrealism is the easiest part of art. No one needs a teacher for that. You just get a picture and you copy it. I think some people work well with a teacher and some people like to learn stuff on their own. There is no right or wrong way. But if you just want to do hyperrealism, you just want to copy photos, you don't need a teacher. You just grab a pencil and just copy photos. That's what you do in high school. That's I will say the most rudimentary of art, and it looks great. People go, wow, that looks just like a photo, and it makes you feel really good. But there's very little thought that goes into that. You're just copying a photo, but it is definitely a good start. But I don't think you need a teacher for that. I think if you want to learn how to paint like a Renaissance, how to paint like Impressionists, then maybe you might want to go to a teacher who can teach you that. If you want to learn how to develop a style or whatnot, then yes, maybe a teacher might be what you're looking for. But really, I never really did well with teachers. I went to art school. I got my lessons and whatnot, but I just don't think I reacted well to it, we'll say.
Have you ever heard of the art channel Nirami or Melly Vuong?
No, I have not.
Jessica and Rachel are here.
Hello,
Good
Jessica and Rachel.
morning. Kiwi Bean says, I had such a fever for watercolor drawing because of watching you. It's now my hobby and helps calm me down whenever I feel cluttered.
Oh.
Thanks a lot to you and your team. Stay hydrated.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
What is the most difficult medium for you?
I think I've tried a couple times. I've tried oil pastels, and I did not like them.
Okay, the tea of the day is the Knightsbridge blend from Harrods. Since you were an artist for Spider-Man, who's your favorite villain?
Dr. Octopus.
Tori is worried that they won't progress when they get back into art. They haven't drawn for 7 months because of art block in school, and it has been really slow getting back into drawing. Do you have any advice?
Yes, I took 10 years off and came back and taught myself watercolors. And I think I'm a much better artist now than I was 20 years ago when I was just doing colored pencils.
Were you afraid to try watercolors?
I was. I was
you did
afraid
it-
to try working with a paintbrush because
you
I
did it
loved
anyway.
pencil. Yeah, but you have to go through that ugly period. You have to. It's hard when I was literally at the top of my game. I was like one of the best illustrators around
With colored pencil.
in with colored pencils, and then to just go and just throw that away and start over, and then just feel like I'm the worst. It was very, very difficult, but I reached as good as I could get with colored pencils, and I just couldn't do anymore.
Plus, you had calluses for days.
Yeah, I don't get that anymore. Blow dryer.
Oh no, hold on. You and the blow dryer. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's see what we got here. Oh, good. Coral's got a book light. That makes me happy. I would not want you to hurt your eyes. Coral's got a book light, so that's good news.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I need to study this sunset process closely. I take a lot of golden hour photography and I struggle capturing it.
Oh yeah, it's
It's funny. It's a thing to be able to capture that when you look at it, and even when you are taking a picture of it, it doesn't often come out the same way.
yeah. I'll always go into
Edit.
the edit mode and adjust the warmth and the contrast and some of the stuff just to get it to how I see it.
Dalton wants to know what's the first color next to the Windsor orange on your palette.
This is, I think, flame red. All of my colors are on my.
Yeah, but they specifically wanted,
Yeah, no, I'm just letting you know that if you want to see them exactly, you can. They're on my art supplies list.
Do you sketch from a picture for the travel journal, or do you whip out a quick sketch on site? I want to start a travel journal soon. That is lima beans.
Yeah, both. I will if I am capable of sitting some. I always take a photo regardless, but if I can take a photo, if I can sit and sketch, that is the most fun because I like to be able to do that in the moment. I just don't always get to do that. Like with Quincy and Hollyana, I was not able to do that. So I just took, I did that at home because I just didn't get a chance. It's not like they were going to sit and pose. But I usually get to sit and sketch at the Ren Fair, and I was just having.
They were not sitting.
Yeah, well, I was having a panic attack the whole time, like just
I get that.
upset stomach and everything, and so we left early, and I really felt bad, but it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it other than they keep trying to fix that. So I always take a photo because you never know if you're going to get a chance to finish, or if like today, I got to start, like I did these drawings while sitting in the chair, and then I inked them at my cousin's house and started to paint and then didn't get a chance to finish. So you just,
So here we are.
yeah.
You do what you do.
But I just, there are artists who will say if it's not done on the spot from start to finish, it's not plein air. It's not this. It's not that. And I just want to just encourage you to just make the art and don't care about. There's no right or wrong way of doing this.
Rules.
You can
Yeah.
if you want to, you can take a photograph and you could come home and then you could project it or trace it, and you could do, it doesn't matter. It's your sketchbook and you could do whatever you want to. You are not any less of an artist for using photograph reference, for doing it at home, for tracing it, for whatever. Just make the art.
Yeah. Don't be pigeonholed by all the rules. If you want to ask a question, just go ahead and put it in the chat. You're more than welcome to ask a question, and we will answer it. Well, Scott will answer it. let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I have some travel journal pages from last year. What do I do? Are they finished? Do you need to finish them? Do you want to finish them?
Yeah. Do whatever makes you happy.
You do you. I have a travel journal from 2 years ago I'm working on.
Oh, that's great.
So, do you think it's okay to have art as a career?
I think it's wonderful to have art as a career. It is not easy. Be kind to yourself. It is not the easiest thing.
Yeah. Oh, Erica's here. Hi,
Hey,
Erica.
Erica.
Good morning, friend. Yeah, our mods are awesome, aren't they? Please visit India. You may like it here.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to India.
Yeah,
we were supposed to go to India a couple years ago.
I wrote a screenplay
Yeah.
for an Indian film, and I was supposed to direct it, and then they ran out of their funding, but I was supposed to go out there. I think the thing that scares me the most about India is the crowds. I don't like very crowded places, and so that's really the only thing that I'm personally nervous about.
Let's see. There was a person said that, oh, here it is. I'm surprised that you say someone must move into drawing with shapes. I don't disagree, but after colors within skin color, I thought you might see that some see the world differently to draw.
No. I appreciate that. No, it's not a must. What I'm saying is, like there are people who just draw with outlines, and they're not doing it wrong. What I'm saying though is, from the point of view of, it's like when I say doing hyperrealism is a very rudimentary, one of the first things you learn. I'm not saying it in a derogatory way so much as artists, we start off with one thing, and then we graduate to another thing, and then to another thing. We expand our tool set, and seeing something and immediately drawing the outline of it is one of the first things we do as kids. Is we just see something and we just draw the outline. You see kids draw an outline of a house. They're not seeing it three-dimensionally.
Oh, I do that still.
Yes. When you start to see things as three-dimensional shapes, you've moved on to the next level. Now, there are wonderful artists who never, if you look at folk art, right?
Folk art's very
it's
flat.
very two-dimensional. It's very and it's a beloved art form. That doesn't mean that they're less of artists. It just means that they found a style that they liked and they stuck with it. And maybe they do know how to draw three-dimensionality, but they don't. But my point is that, because I'm always talking to people who want to improve. And so I was just trying to give a bit of a guideline as to, yes, drawing outlines is where you are here. And then if you want to go to the next step, start seeing stuff as shapes. You don't have to. But if you want to, that's the next step. Same thing. If you're doing photorealism and you're happy, then be happy. But if you're saying, what can I do past that? It's look into getting away from photorealism and starting to create shapes, start to see design, start to see paint strokes, start to look at Impressionism, look at Art Nouveau, look at different things and see what you can do to take it away from just being a photograph. You don't have to. It was more of a, if you are looking for the next thing. So my apologies if that came across in any way condescending or saying don't do that. It was more of,
Okay. and I'm going to address this one because this is the same person who was talking about that, who then says, when teens learn to draw, they often really struggle with seeing what is in front of them, seeing realism. It may seem obvious, but actually a lot of them do benefit from teaching and guidance. We have never said that teaching or being an art teacher or learning from an art teacher is bad. We've never said that.
No one said that you did say that.
And no, but I'm pulling this out here, and I'm just throwing this out in front of everybody, because I don't want, from the comments I just want it to be clear. Some people learn well when they're with a teacher.
Yes, but I already went over all of that, and I said
that
I know,
put this in again, so I'm just trying to reiterate that is not what we're saying.
Yeah, of course we're not. But the thing is some people learn well from being taught, and some people don't, and that's totally fine. I think seek out the things that you need
that work for you
from hopefully good teachers. But yeah, the thing is that art is supposed to be whatever makes you happy. So if you like photorealism, make photorealism and be happy. If you like just drawing people's outlines and you don't want to draw shapes, then do outlines and don't draw shapes. Look at Picasso's work. Cool. His stuff is outlines, no shapes. But he did learn that if you look at his younger stuff, but he decided this is the style that he wanted to do. There's no right or wrong so much as people will say, I just do, anime art and I'm not improving. And then what can I do to improve? And that's where I'm doing my best to try to help and say, okay, stop drawing your OC
the same
over
thing
and over again.
Stop
just drawing anime and start to draw everything. Learn to draw the world around you. And then from there, you'll see your art improve. But that's all it is just to try to get you to, if you want to improve, if you want to change your style, that was the premise of it. So I hope that helps, and I hope that makes sense. But if you are happy drawing with outlines, or if you're happy doing photorealism, then please keep doing it. You do not have to learn anything else. If the style that you are doing makes you happy,
then do it.
And don't let anybody tell you that what you're doing is wrong.
Let's see. How are you able to sketch a moving reference? I can't get it right when somebody is moving.
Oh, I can't either. That's why I take a photograph. We always have a camera on us now. So it was much harder when I was younger and people were always moving and we were supposed to try to do that. And you just kind of take a mental picture and do your best. But no, at this point, you're going to want to just snap a photo and then just look down at your photo when you need it.
Scott, I noticed that you don't mix colors, or you do it very rarely.
Yeah, I did mix colors when I first started doing watercolors, and then I saw that the colors were kind of sitting with a hard line, and I went, oh, that's kind of unique and graphical. It kind of feels artsy rather than just a smooth blend. And so I just decided that's going to be my style. And so that was a stylistic choice.
Yep, that's what you liked. Do you prefer books or movies?
Movies.
Books. Let's see. Autumn is planning a trip to Philadelphia with the intention of making a travel journal of the trip. Any recommendations for places to go in Philadelphia?
I'm trying to think.
Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell are musts, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, those were good.
They're fantastic for visually and historically. I love them. And where was that, the market for the sandwiches?
Yeah, that was
oh my God.
It was a good market. Where if you like doing people.
Reading Terminal Market
it's
in Philly, and they have the best food, Amish donuts and these big sandwiches, and it's very crowded. So if you get nervous, headphones and a mask. but the food is worth it. What sketchbook are you using for the travel journal?
Always the Be Creative. It's my favorite.
How many pages are in the Be Creative and what size is it?
I don't know how many pages. If you ask me, too many, because I can never feel like I could fill it. I've been working on this one since 2022.
Well, in your defense, we haven't really been a lot of places. 30 sheets.
30 sheets, so 60 pages.
5.5 inches by 8 inches. And it is 140-pound paper. There you go. Okay.
All right, so this just might be enough for now. I'm just going to blow dry it and then turn the page.
Okay, hold on. Let me, while you're doing that, think about, okay, I'll ask it in a minute. Yes, it is okay to have references for your art. Scott's using photo reference right now. Never just a hobby. Tracy, what do you want to try next? Yeah, I would agree with Steph Nerd. What is your current medium?
I'm going to write in here, and I'm going to write in here, and that'll be where the journal part of it is.
Okay, now I'm going to ask a question that nobody else has asked. Why do you leave those parts white sometimes, and sometimes I notice that you color them in and write on the colors like you did on the other page? See
I very rarely leave them white, so I might come in later and add a little bit of color.
Okay. Is it just a mood thing?
It's a mood thing. The other thing is that if I'm leaving space, like white space, to kind of like a comic book.
Is it like a division?
Then I like to have this kind of colored.
Okay.
Whereas this, there is no white, so this kind of is its own thing. So I just haven't. Sometimes I would have just had this blend up and be the sky, but I really want to make sure I didn't leave something out.
Okay. Have you watched The Umbrella Academy? And if yes, who was your favorite character?
Klaus. And I've painted all of the characters pretty much.
And I did not watch that. Okay. Tracy uses gouache, ballpoint pen, and colored pencils and would like to try a new medium and wants to know, do you think oil pastels, alcohol markers, or acrylic markers?
I did not like oil pastels, but if you wanted to really get inspired, look at Black Bean. Just Google Black Bean and look at their work.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What were the other options?
The other options were acrylic markers and alcohol markers.
Okay, acrylic markers, in my opinion, are not good for drawing. They're very difficult unless you're doing something very simple like anime. They're very flat. They don't blend well at all.
They don't play nice.
They work better on plastic than they do on paper.
You did those on the records and on the controller.
Yeah, and they're very hard to wield. Alcohol markers are good. They're very temporary. So they'll fade over a decade. So if you do some art that you really like, you got to scan it in because it will be fading over time. But I think if I was going to pick any of those, it would be alcohol markers. And I would go for the Art Beak markers. They're cheapest and they work just as good as the expensive one. And there's a link under my art supplies I've tried.
Yep. And say good morning to Santa.
Hey, Santa,
Santa
how are
said
you?
Good morning, and I hope you're making it an amazing day.
I am. Thank you.
We're trying our best.
This kneaded eraser is really, really dry.
And kind of gross, to be perfectly honest.
I just gotta get it to soften up.
Janany says, I'm late to the party, but happy to see the travel journal. I would love to do that, but it's hard to find time to even start a sketch while traveling when you have little helpers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you're in the thick of things.
Yeah.
That makes it very difficult. We are on the other side of it. Like, we barely see our kids. So it's kind of a completely different situation.
But, we journaled a little bit when we had the kids.
I did not.
You didn't.
No, for me, it was all encompassing because they always wanted mom. And when you would journal, I would have them. or I would be with them at the pool and you would take time to journal, and
Or
there
we
just
would give
wasn't
them,
time.
we would sometimes give them a paper and pencil and let them journal with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
Which
again, if you
their
look,
attention span at that point was about this
Yeah.
big.
November 2022, so we are coming up to this being 2 years old. So it has been.
It's been a slow
We just
2
haven't.
years.
We've traveled a little bit, but just
Not a lot.
It's mostly
No.
been the zoo,
zoo.
and little drives down to Chattanooga, the Ren Fair.
Our
But
anniversary.
mostly the zoo.
Your
Down to
birthday.
Florida for my birthday, and
Yeah.
that's it. But yeah, it's. I always thought it would be great to have a journal for each year, but I just have not.
We haven't been able to go.
Yeah.
We just haven't had the money to go. Dalton is thinking about making a movie journal. Could you name some movies I can put in it?
Well, The Princess Bride, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future,
Jaws,
Terminator 2.
Pride and Prejudice,
Um,
RoboCop.
yeah, I mean, there's some good. The Matrix.
The Matrix would be good. Could draw some cool stuff with that. So do you think I should get Prismacolors? I'm a beginner with colored pencils. I have the Faber-Castell 24 set and just wondering, do they act like Prismas? Because I've never used pencils.
No, I did. If you look up, I drew the Beatles with different colored pencils. And it's under Shorts.
Yeah.
And I did Faber-Castells, and the Faber-Castells do not work. They're very hard, very difficult to blend. Prismacolors are much softer. The pros of the Faber-Castell is they don't break as often. My favorite were the Caran d'Ache, but they were the most expensive too.
Oh, yeah. Well, unless you're in the... Santa's laughing when you were flipping pages at the Guinea Pig Village.
Oh, that was fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get a small set, I would say try the Prismacolors or the Caran d'Ache, whichever one you can afford.
Yeah. The Caran d'Ache, if you're overseas, in Europe, they might be cheaper. They're very expensive here in the States, but I think somebody said a while ago that when they were in Europe that the Caran d'Ache were actually the cheaper ones to buy there because
that would
they're
be
made
amazing.
in France.
Yeah.
So we'll take a trip to France for the colored pencils.
All right,
Let's see. Scott, was that the Seaside Post Office? I love Seaside. The record store is awesome. Oh, the record store is so good.
That was
Yep.
the Seaside. Here, I'll show you. This is the Black Bear Bakery. This was out front, but yeah, that's the record store and the post office.
Yep. How do you get into the groove of posting daily? I want to grow my channel and do art in real life videos. I have no idea how to motivate myself. Any tips? It's hard posting every day.
It is, and to be perfectly honest, like this morning, I did not have an idea of what I wanted to draw, who I wanted to draw, and so I just pulled out my sketchbook. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I am very, very burnt out, and
so burnt out.
You run out of things to do. I think I've drawn everybody. I've tried every art medium. I've tried every art style. I've done anime. I've done this. I've done that. And some people truly want to be a YouTuber. I don't. And so I for me, it's. I think I've said everything that I've had to say, and so that's why I'm looking forward to just kind of changing gears and moving over into making the movies. That's really where.
It's like when you were doing the colored pencils and then you took all that time off. It's
Yeah.
that kind of burnout.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. It is a lot
to post every day.
So I think find something that you could talk about every day, or you could find that thing that you love so much
That you don't think you'll run out
that
of
you're
stuff to
like,
talk about.
I can't imagine never wanting to do this. That's where you got to start. Whether it's movies or music or art or video games or whatever, but find that thing that brings you endless enjoyment. And then I would make that your channel, because you have to imagine yourself 4 years from now and saying, I have to wake up and I have to create more content. Am I still going to love this thing?
Yeah.
All right, so this next one down here is, let me see, I will show you. My cousin,
Quick question.
yeah,
If you put fixative on markers, does that keep it from fading?
not really.
Yeah.
My cousin likes going to the Indian casino. I don't know if they call it the Indian casinos anymore.
I don't know what they call
But
it.
it's the Mohegan Sun, or this was Foxwoods, I'm sorry. And because he loves to play craps.
Is that his game?
That's
Craps?
his games. Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
loves to
funny.
play craps. It's good because he's full of it. But
I did not say that.
but this was in the lobby, and I just thought it was really just a pretty kind of sculpture.
Oh, that
And,
is pretty.
Yeah,
That's very unique.
yeah. And so
What is it
I
made
did
out
a
of?
sculpture material. So I just did like a quick little sketch and ran out, and so I was like, okay, I took a photo, and so now I'm gonna draw it. But
You're the only one who would go to a casino and sketch something rather than go
yeah,
sit in the casino and gamble. You're funny.
Yeah. But gosh, the casinos are so loud. I'm so glad I had my headphones with me.
Okay, so there's 2 for 2 people on here. Hoovian Holmes, there is a video on Scott traveling with autism and the things that he has used to mitigate travel issues. Coffee, there is a video on Art Block. You can check that out. Oh, Mackenzie says, good morning. I started journaling after having some breakdowns and inspiration from both of you. I have one for drawing and one for writing. Thank you for being a part of the community.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Santa says, I hope that Bethany creates content about her preparations for her upcoming art show. I am so darn proud of her. She is now in 2 different art shows this summer. And
I think she is the most
proud of her.
in-demand
Yeah.
artist in the tri-state area.
in the tri-state area. Let's see.
I got the stupid, the rings are just here. And
I
they're
want to try
on-
oil pastels. Are they like oily crayons?
Yes.
Yeah, they're gross. I've tried them too, and I didn't like them. What is your favorite time of the day to create? How do you structure your day?
I like mornings. I'm the most creative
What?
in the morning. I wake up and I am full of new energy and whatnot. I fade towards the end of the day.
Are you full of the crap that your cousin shoots at the casino?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Sarah, I'm sorry. Sarah says, I was so happy when I saw that you were live. I'm going through a breakup after a 12-year relationship, and it's so hard.
Oh,
My
jeez.
heart goes out to you, honey. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. That is rough.
Yeah.
Sharon's been having art block for 2 weeks, and it's the worst.
I'm sorry.
Well, hopefully you guys will have a little bit of a respite here with us this morning.
Yeah, just hang out with
And
us.
just be lazy, hang out.
I didn't know what I was going to draw either, so I'm just drawing in my sketchbook. You know, we don't always have great ideas and, you know, fun ideas and
Ugh. Do you think digital art is cheating?
oh
No.
gosh, no. Digital art is wonderful.
Oh, you guys. There is no cheating in art. Can we let's put that out there again?
Look at Rishi Draws. Look at Sam Does Art. Seriously, look at their stuff. They're beautiful. Really, really wonderful artists.
How much do you end up drawing in a day when you're motivated?
Not much. I'll maybe spend a couple hours a day. I really don't do that much. I cannot find a comfortable place for my hand.
When I go to restaurants, I draw the hostess or the waiter. I give it to them. Is that a weird thing to do?
No, it's not weird. I don't think you need to give them the art. I think it'd be good for you to start keeping your art and journaling it. I found when I got to meet Ian McKellen, I did a painting of Gandalf and I tried to give it to him, and his manager was like, he gets a lot of art and there's really only so much of it he can keep. And so they said, why don't you just keep it for yourself? And I did.
That was a very kind way to say it.
Yeah, of course. And I am the kind of person who draws other people and go, here, it's like my love language, I go, I drew you, or, I did this for you. And, but I think I found that,
that explains why you haven't drawn me in a while. You don't love me anymore.
Yeah. I think that, what's been better for me is to draw for myself and to not, because I think, doing something like this where, like, if I had like the hostesses and whatnot,
you don't typically draw the people in the restaurant. You draw the surroundings. Like, you'll draw a pretty vase that you see, or you'll draw something that you see on the wall, or you'll draw like the surrounding areas, not the people.
So, but there's nothing weird about it. But I'm just saying, you might want to consider keeping them for yourself. So you can look at your improvements and your growth.
Okay, Am says, hi Scott, I love your drawings and use your tutorials and you inspire me, but whenever I draw something, someone always demotivates me. For example, my friend told me my drawing looked wonky.
Your drawing does look wonky, and be okay with that. That's the thing is that, now look, they might just be, because you're friends, they're just probably just being very honest with you. But our art is going to be wonky,
Or maybe you need a new friend.
Huh?
Or maybe they need a new friend.
I don't think so. I think wonky is a nice thing. If they said that your art was ugly or trash, then yeah, maybe start looking. But wonky is wonky. I use wonky about my own art. You know what I'm saying?
You're always self-deprecating, though.
Yes, but
I never think you've done a good job on anything.
Yes, but I don't call my art trash.
No.
And that's all I'm saying is I think
what about the ones you rip up?
I think based on the word that they used, they were being joking, they were being supportive in some way, but genuinely, don't, and I know it's hard, but don't let what other people say about your work stop you from making art. I know it's hard, and I feel the same way. And I post about how I get demotivated when people don't like my work or whatever. But
you did yesterday.
Don't let it stop you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't let it stop you from making art.
We do ship the posters worldwide. There's a few countries we are not allowed to ship to, like Russia at present, and a few countries that
Brazil too.
Yeah, Brazil. Things just disappear. Let's see. Brett would like to know if they should go to art school or university or just pursue art as a hobby. What's your opinion? They're in high school right now.
There is a video on that. It is, should I pursue art as a career? I would watch that, but the Cliff Notes version is, do you love making art the way some people love playing video games? In other words, do you need to be told, or do you need to tell yourself, I got to go make art? Or do you make art because it makes you happy? That's how I would judge whether you need to, or you should take it up as a career or not. That's really it. Is if you need to say, God, I've really got to go and make some art. Then maybe art isn't your thing. Maybe just make it a hobby. I hope that helps.
Okay, so it is 9:51, and we're gonna shout out Skillshare.
Yes, our
For
sponsor
sponsoring
for
the
the
live.
live.
And there's a link at the top of the bio, and it for the first 100 people, they are giving away a free month of their classes, and you can check that out. Yes, we do ship to Pakistan. Please, though, if you're international, please, and even if you're in the United States, please make sure that we have your correct address. I have so many returns that have come back because we didn't have your correct address, or you were away, or the package wasn't claimed. I don't know how it works in other countries, but when we go away for something, we hold our mail at our post office, and then they deliver it. I don't know if in Europe, because a lot of you were like, I wasn't home, I was on holiday, and things get returned. I don't know how that works because I don't live there. But please make sure we have your correct address. And if you're not going to be home, maybe somebody could pick it up for you. I don't want you guys to miss out on things that you've ordered.
Because what's had to happen is that you have to pay for shipping twice, and shipping is not cheap.
No, especially shipping
if it goes
overseas.
all the way out to Europe and comes all the way back.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't make it back in one piece.
Yeah,
at all. So, if there was a word to describe your art, what would it be?
Wonky. See?
There you go. Yeah, Tracy, thank you. Tracy's like, oh, wow, you got a sponsor. That's great. Congrats. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being excited for us instead of annoyed. I appreciate that. Have you tried oil paints?
I did in high school. And that was 40 years ago. And rumor has it that the paints are still drying.
I don't know. Ask Bethany. Yeah. Let's see. Oh no, Mozzie says, hello, it's been so long. I missed you guys. I went to Hamburg, Amsterdam, and Paris. The only regret, I did not have a sketchbook with me. Oh, that's so sad. So sad. I hope you took good pictures because you can paint them now.
Okay, I think I did my best little.
Your best little
sketch. It's nothing like what the photo was, but I did my best.
What paper do you recommend on a budget for watercolors? Currently using XL Media paper.
Yeah, not media. I would do the XL watercolor paper, but to be perfectly honest, if you can afford this, the Be Creative, it's 100% cotton, and it is only like $2 more. I think it's like $14 instead of $12.
I think it's 15 now. But,
and if not that, I would get the Grabby 100% cotton watercolor paper is good too. But this is my favorite, and the reason why I like it is it absorbs the colors really well, so the colors are very vibrant, but also it's very low texture. So that way my pen doesn't skip along it.
Yeah. Rachel got our tri-state area reference and she knew it was from Phineas and Ferb. Go, Rachel! Rachel's with me. What kinds of things do you write in your journal?
Let's see. Our friend Santa J. Claus came to visit. He was in Nashville to visit a very sick boy in Clarksville. We made some videos for TikTok and had scones and tea. Donna, Arwen, and I drove 2 hours east to see the mini Eiffel Tower in Paris, Tennessee. It stood about 20 feet tall and was just sitting in a park by a playground. We walked Arwen for a bit and then headed home. Didn't see much else to do there, but glad we finally went. Very boring stuff, I promise you. Sunday was cold, but I bundled up and walked the empty streets early before anyone woke up. Love the light sunrise makes on the architecture.
I'm not a sunrise girl, but I will admit it's pretty.
We drove 2 hours south to Chattanooga to visit Lookout Mountain Conservancy. We learned about their Catch Carbon project, the St. Elmo Trail. Arwen did great hiking up the trails, and she made some new friends.
She did, my baby. Yeah.
So that's it.
Bethany says, I've been painting more than I've ever painted in my life. My hands and my brain are tired. You're so funny. But you're doing great and everything looks lovely.
Yeah.
I do have an e-reader. I have a Kindle that my lovely husband bought me for Christmas last year, and it's phenomenal. I have an entire library in my bag, and I know that sounds crazy.
For the record,
but it's amazing.
For the last couple of years, Donna was like, no, I don't want one. No, that's stupid. No, it's not a real book.
I like an actual book, okay?
And even when I got it for her, she was like, oh, you got me an e-reader.
No, I did not say that. I said, oh, that's very nice of you, honey. And I went, yeah, whatever. And then you pack to go somewhere, and you're like, I've got 52 books in the palm of my hand. And you're just like, sweet. Because if I don't want to read this, then I can read that. And if I don't want to read this, then I can read that. And of course, you know that I have the entire slew of Jane Austen just in there because you can get them on an e-reader for like 99 cents because, you know, you can. So, you know, I've got like 4,000 books on there. Actually, I don't have 4,000, but maybe I have 50, which is really cool. How long have you been creating art streaming content? If you're burnt out now, which is understandable, is there anything you think other streamers could do to also avoid getting burnt out?
Well,
that's a good question.
I've been doing this since 2020, August of 2020.
Yeah.
And that was on TikTok. I did it because it was the pandemic and I was bored and I had no intention of turning it into like a little mini career. So I didn't really go into it with anything more than that. I'm also very shy, camera shy. It took a lot of Santa coaxing me to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And so I had no intention of ever showing my face. And so my recommendation is do this if this is what you truly want. This isn't what I wanted. And if that's what you want, then learn how other people do it and how to improve, whether it's your presence or your lighting or your editing. There's so much that goes into it.
About that. A lot of people do videos on what their setup looks like.
Yeah.
What their lighting looks like, and a lot of creators will talk about all of those things.
Yeah. Blow dryer.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. Okay,
so I added a yellow undertone to the grass because if you look...
It looks yellow?
Yeah.
It's not a very good golf course if it looks yellow. Oh. You would think it would be more green.
Well, but it just means that it was bright sunny day.
Okay.
So now I'm going to add the green.
Flora says, I'm a design student and I have been asked to put together a portfolio and I don't know what I like in art, so what should I put in?
You need to find out what you like.
Also, are there parameters for what needs to be in the portfolio?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have things you like, and if you don't know what you like, you have not been to a museum, you have not been to an art gallery, you have not looked up different things. You genuinely, and I'm using the word shouldn't just in a very passive way, but you should not be going to art school and not liking any particular kind of art. You've got to have something. There's like, why are you doing this if you don't like art of any sort?
Well, if they're a design student, maybe this is their first portfolio that they're putting together.
I get it, and I'm just trying to encourage you to please go and learn about different designers, get inspired by them, and copy them, study them. But you're, and this was something that I didn't do either. I loved comic book art. So anytime I was in art school and I was showing comic book art, and it was illustration class, and so they really poo-pooed that. They looked down on comic book art, and so I didn't do very well because of that. But I took art history class, it was the history of illustration, and that's where I learned about J.C. Leyendecker and Maxfield Parrish and whatnot, and some of that. I went, okay, well, I like that, and at least got me into seeing other things. But you need to look into the history of design or whatever your major is, and find some inspiration, find something that you can say, this. You don't, if you were a musician, you can't say, I'm not inspired by any other music that came before me, and I'm just creating music that I like. No one is. No, everybody is inspired. You don't become a musician having never listened to music before. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't become an artist having never seen art before. You don't become a writer having never read a book before. And so you have to have some sort of inspiration. We're always... our style and everything about us is based on the stuff that we love, the stuff that inspired us to become the artists that we are. Blow dryer.
Oh, no. Hold on. Okay. I got to get better at reading the room here, guys. No, you do not need an art degree to pursue art as a career. But if you want to teach, you will need a degree for sure. We are working on a sequel to our movie Animal Crackers that is out on Netflix. Came out in summer of 2020.
So one thing I want to show you guys is see how it's not soaking through to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And the pages are just really not warping much.
You're obsessed with this book. Obsessed.
I love this. I hope they never go out. Well, I've got enough of them in my sketchbook to last me a decade. I mean, in my drawer to last me a decade.
Erica says, Scott, thank you for writing about starting that app, Kara, and your feelings about recognizing and how it's not easy. I still do my art and improve every day.
Oh, thank you.
We love you, Erica.
Yeah, it's my mom. My mom called me up. What do you mean you're invisible? What do you mean that this isn't this? And you're
God's sakes,
and
really?
I'm going, Mom, it's I understand that I have 3 million followers across my socials, and I understand that I am not invisible. I said I felt invisible. And the point of that is to show that it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. We all feel this. We all...
Everybody feels inadequate at times.
Yeah, we feel this about ourselves and about our art. You could be at the top of the world, and you're still going to have those feelings because we're human. And I want people to know that they're not alone, and that we all have those feelings, and that's a part of just being human. And because I don't want people to go through, I didn't come up through social media. There wasn't social media, there wasn't the internet, when we were starting out.
Thank
And
goodness.
yeah, but I could not get recognized by anybody with my art. Like we would come out to New York, and I would bring my portfolio, and I would go to TV Guide, and I would go here, and I would go there, and I
many
would
places.
try to get in, and they were just not impressed with the colored pencils. And the only work I could get was doing, like maybe one Star Trek cover a year. Like I wasn't getting enough work to live off of. It was kind of almost like they were throwing me a bone. And so, yeah, I didn't have the pressure of getting likes and views, but it was still the fact that to this day, I'm just invisible to the art directors in New York.
Yeah.
You
were.
and the people who, like, you'll never see my work in a gallery. You're never going to see my work on the cover of the New Yorker magazine and whatnot. And
But
yeah,
that's okay.
yes, but what I'm saying is that I think it's tenfold for artists who are coming up through now, because not only are you not being accepted by the establishment, but also by the apps and people and whatnot. And so I think it's even even more so. And so I just feel like we should normalize that this is something that all artists go through. That's all. Blow dryer.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, sometimes when I read the audio or ebook, I do have to buy the physical book. Not because I want it for the accomplishment, but because I like to go back when I really love a book, and I like to read the passages that I enjoyed again or reference them for something. But I do like to have the physical copies of the book. Let's see. If you never would have had art as a career, then what do you think you would have been doing?
I genuinely don't know. I might have gotten into music, but I wasn't really very good at that. I wasn't a good employee. So like I wasn't really good at keeping and holding down a job. So I don't know. I'd still be living with my parents.
I would put money on that if you had not met me.
Yeah. Well,
I would put money on that.
They did not. No one knew I was autistic. There was no testing for stuff like that. I genuinely, had it not been for art, and
that was your coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you like to draw people or animals, and why?
I like drawing both. I think, yeah, I like drawing both, and the reasoning why is because it makes me happy. There's no magical, thing about it.
There is no tutorial that you've done on comic book style.
No, I'm not. My style was never the traditional style, which is why I never was really able to get work.
Coral Create says, I'm convinced my art history teacher is the sweetest person on earth. She's actually done a few classes on Scott's art. She's amazing. I love her.
Wow. I love her too.
Yeah.
Please thank her for me.
I didn't think he was old enough to be a part of an art history class. Apparently you are. Okay, so the sketchbook you're using is
This is Be Creative is the brand.
it's 5.5 by 8.5. We just did, it's 30 pages and it's 140 GSM paper. Where did you buy them? A Blick or?
Oh, Blick, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot to add the grass here.
Let's see. The Art Beak markers are the markers that are the most reasonably priced that Scott's tried that are good. Let's see. Scott went to Academy of Art in San Francisco, but he is self-taught in watercolor painting. He learned how to do that himself. Pink Moon Rabbit says, no matter how famous you are, sharing art never stops being vulnerable, and it helps to know someone of your skill still experiences that, and we know we aren't alone. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, my pleasure. That's it. I mean, there was one person who commented saying, "Oh, this just sounds like a woe is me kind of thing." I was like, "No, it's not. It's whenever I have a feeling of I don't like my art or I tried something and it didn't work out. I try to put that into a video to normalize it, and it's not to say, "Oh, woe is me. I didn't like my art today." It's to say, "No, we all feel that way sometimes." And but I think there's always going to be people who are going to try to find the negative side of anything people do,
Especially on social media.
Yeah.
And also on social media, you see everybody's highlight reel. Everybody shows you the pretty things in life. They don't show you when they mess up on something. They don't show you when they're crying or they're in tears or they had a really bad day. And if they do, it's very rare. Everybody shows you their wins. Everybody shows you their, all the good stuff. And I think it makes it really hard to go through life as a normal, everyday human and realize that that person who looks perfect with their makeup done super nice and their hair done and their whatever, their most beautiful art piece they've ever done or whatever it is, that's not their everyday. They wake up, they put their sweatpants on, maybe they have a stomach ache or maybe they have a headache or whatever it is. It's like, it's life. And so social media is really great for making you feel very inadequate on a daily basis. And I speak for myself in that too, and when I do a quote video, like a lot of times you'll see me, like I cross things out now. I'm like, I'm not going back and making it look perfect and I'm not re-recording it so that it looks perfect.
Blow dryer.
It doesn't always have to be perfect. Go ahead. Anyway, I know that was a long comment, but don't feel inadequate because somebody else posted something pretty on social media. Dalton would like to know why the weight of the paper is important.
It's not terribly important, but if you look, I've painted on both sides of this paper and look how very little it is warped. It helps if it's in a sketchbook. The warping will affect your paper. It's going to. I don't look for the weight of the paper. I always look for whether it's 100% cotton or not. That gives you the. So I look for cold press because it's got a little bit of texture. But I look for cold press. I look for 100% cotton. Now, if you want to see.
Uh-oh, we're going to the drawer.
This is cold press arches. Can you see the difference in the texture?
Hold up the other one. You can see the texture on the arches paper, but you need to hold it. There you go. We can see it now. Wow. Is that cold press paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Okay. And so when
Super
I do my inking, this now, if I show you hot press paper.
We're back to the drawer.
This is hot press paper. See how much smoother it is than this one?
Yeah, hold it up just a little bit closer to. There it is.
And then compared to this one.
That one is the most bumpy.
Yeah. And so I like something that's
In between.
in between. This is why I like it. Now, some people, this makes watercolor look great. The more bumps it has, watercolor looks great, but it doesn't work great for inking. And since my technique involves inking, I like something, my inks look best on this and my watercolors look best on this. But this is a good medium for me. And that's what I'm looking for is cold press for watercolor because it really likes the texture and a smoother texture. But the 100% cotton paper just looks, it absorbs the watercolors best.
When you started learning to draw people, did you have an interest in drawing them or felt like you should just learn it? I want to be an artist when I'm an adult, but I am not interested in people.
You don't have to draw people, ever. I
You've
wanted
always
to be
drawn
the
people.
artist on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so I was just drawing Spider-Man all the time. And then I got into Conan, so I started to draw my own original character, which was a barbarian too.
Yeah.
And that was it. I just drew what I liked.
Yeah.
If you want to become a professional illustrator who, people will hire to do a Pepsi ad or a movie poster, you're going to have to be able to do whatever you're being asked to do. And that's what I was. I was an illustration major. So I had to learn to draw cars and buildings and people and dogs and cats and everything.
Yeah.
And so that was the requirement of being an illustrator. If you want to be an architect because you like drawing buildings only, then you can do that. If you want to just be an artist who only draws sunsets, then do that. But there's no has to. It's just if you're now adding that, and I want to make a living at this, then you have to look and say, how am I going to make a living at this? And what are people going to need from me to pay me money? And then I need to be able to deliver that. That's really it. But if you're making art for you, you can make whatever you want to. Anything you want to.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm gonna take a little. We're gonna be done today because I'm not gonna finish this.
Okay.
Because we only have like 10 more minutes left.
Okay.
So what I will do is either finish this on Friday or I'll finish it. And I'll do something else on Friday.
Okay.
But we want to thank our sponsor again, Skillshare, for everything. We think they are amazing. And if you are so inclined, there's a link in the description, in the chat, to a free one month of Skillshare. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And just to go back, somebody commented anti-social media. We're not anti-social media, but what you have to understand is we grew up in a time before social media, so we've seen it come into play. We've seen how it's affected our kids and our friends' kids, and there's a certain level of caution and honesty that we want to bring to the table with that. And,
no, it's I don't want to be a social media influencer. So I don't have the desire to come across as glamorous and perfect and sexy. What I do want to do is show you that we're all human, and I think that is the one thing that I can relate to the most. I don't relate to. I don't feel comfortable saying this is how you make art, but I do feel comfortable saying this is what it feels like to make art. If that makes any sense, because I know the struggles and I know what goes on, and I think I think it's easier for me to tell you how I feel rather than tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps, but I'm very, very grateful for all of you and for everything that you guys have been doing, supporting us and encouraging us and being here,
Yeah.
3 times a week and hanging out with us and asking us questions. And it truly does mean the world to us.
It does indeed.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
We will see you on Friday.
Yeah, because it's Wednesday. We will see you guys on Friday.
We love you all.
All right.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, guys. Do something good for yourself.